Yeah, just a hard-fought game, a team that is capable of making, 10, 12, 15 threes in a game. So our whole scouting report was to take that away, to force them, into, having to get the ball inside. I thought we defended pretty well tonight, and we got to do a better job when the team, and we're going to see them in the Big Ten too. Teams that are going to shoot 25, 30 threes. That's become more the norm than the exception in college basketball now. So this was good. I like how we defended the three. Excuse me. Southern did a really good job, I thought, defending us in the first half. And we got a little breakout. We just needed to get a run going. We had that stretch in the third quarter. And, we just got to. You play these games before Thanksgiving. You're learning a lot about your own team. So, again, good hard effort, tough opponent, and it's kind of getting us our confidence level. You saw with Tate tonight. She's a great player. We see it every day in practice. And then, Grace is somebody that I'm concerned about because every time we get off the bus now, she's going to have two people guarding her. So, we're going to have to get her security passes, everything. It is what it is. But she's put herself in that. I'm really proud of her. Exposed herself at the highest level in the Big Ten. I'm really, really excited for her. We got to help her a little bit too.
Adam?
Coach, speaking of Grace, having to compete with minutes last year with Kaylee or Taylor, how do you think that prepared her for this bigger role?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like she's very unselfish, and last year she handled that well. There was games when she'd have high double figures, 20 points. Other games, where her minutes were cut back. But I think it really helped her. I feel really in this world of one and dones and transfer portals. I feel very lucky to have her for 2 years, and we're seeing the benefits of that because she really learned our system last year, and she picked it up quickly, and now we're seeing her. And last year those guys, both of them are playing pro ball in Europe right now, so she was playing behind two pretty good players.
Eli?
You guys shot only 6 3-point attempts today after going 5 for 25 in your first game. Was there an emphasis today on not forcing the three ball?
Well, I think more emphasis, excuse me, I didn't say that very well, emphasis on pounding the ball inside today, taking advantage of our height advantage. And, more importantly, just, playing inside out. And I thought we settled the other night for some threes that were, we forced a little bit. We want that to flow. We want to play inside out. In a perfect world, if we can, take 15, 18 threes and get 7 or 8 to go, I think we'll be a tough out.
Yeah, I know that, Dr. Sam.
Coach, Deja Turner, Crystal Wang, players like that getting their first buckets of the season today. How do you see players like that who maybe aren't starting but are coming off the bench in later in the game? Like, how do you see them sort of fitting into the rotation?
Yeah, I think they're both. I'll start with Deja, who transferred from TCU as a grad transfer, but she played on a team last year. Was in the Final 8, beat Notre Dame, had Texas, to go to the Final 4 in a great game. And so her experience really helps us. She doesn't panic. She's had to fight through some early injuries, and we're just now kind of getting her going. So, I'm really excited about her. And, Crystal works so hard, very versatile. And, I think, she came to us from the #1 high school team in the country, Sierra Canyon. And, she's used to playing with great players. And I think, they're both going to help us. And it may come hit and miss for a while till we get everybody in some kind of rotation.
Sammy?
Coach, Tate Lash had a big day offensively today, was getting going. Tell me what it's like to get her going offensively on that side of the floor, and then if you also want to speak to just her presence as a veteran coming into help this roster, especially with some of the younger players?
Yeah, this is somebody, a 4-year, was a great player at Furman, incredible career, and more importantly, every intangible that coaches, in coach speak, she fits every box. She's just tough as nails, great energy, great attitude. She practices every day, like, we're in the Final Four, and she just brings so much to the table in that experience. And you saw the other night, she went to the line with 4 or 5 seconds, nailed 2 free throws. Today, she just, we're still getting to know each other, and that's part of the challenge with early games. So we just can't let our foot off the gas.
Jacob and Gavin.
Coach, 8 assists to 1 turnover for Carolina today. I mean, how would you just describe the strides you saw out of her from game 1 to tonight, and especially with her finding her shooting touch a little bit as well?
Yeah, she works really hard too. She's put a lot of time in the gym and on her own, shooting the ball. So, we're excited. She's had games since she's been here. One still comes to mind. She had 25 points against Wisconsin, didn't miss a shot, perfect line score. So, I think she's just she's trying to do what you need to run our team, but also knowing that she has to be a scoring threat. And again, with the way teams are going to play Grace, Caroline, Tate, Samaya, they all got to be ready. Casey Harder, all our perimeter people got to be ready to score.
Yeah.
Coach, you touched on it a little bit earlier. Obviously, they were sending the double a lot at Grace in the post, and we can only assume that a lot of Big Ten teams probably going to try and do the same. How do you balance, the desire to have a player like that who puts so much pressure under the rim, just letting her do her thing under the basket with, being able to pass out of that and work other options around?
Yeah. No, listen, you're watching what I'm seeing too. The best way to beat a double team is beat it down the floor and play one-on-one. So I think, in transition, and she can run like a deer. So we're excited. We're asking a lot of her, but when other people can rebound, she can get out and she's just really hard to stop one-on-one down there. So, and she's expanded her game. But I still want her to rebound and then beat people down. So we're greedy. But, the double team, she's got to, we're working every day. She has to play out of that. And, she was a great high school player where, she was double teamed. So that's just what happens is you pick your poison when everybody's scoring. We're going to be really hard to beat. But, people got to make shots.
Just a quick follow-up to that. Do you see kind of the next evolution of that and playing out of her as opposed as, she really needs to lock in and, improve her passing, or do you see it as there needs to be some more outside shot, making by the other players?
I think both. I think both because she's going to get physically, she's going to see a lot of people coming at her, when she's around the basket. So we have to get her shots too, where, she's open. And again, and she knows that she's working really hard on. And she's really unselfish. Like tonight, I don't know how many, she had 25 points. She could care less about that. She just wants to win. As a great teammate. So I think because she is unselfish, she's going to have games where she knows, hey, it's somebody else's turn because I got, 8 people hanging on my arm.
Sammy, finish up.
Yeah, Coach. Today you played against Samantha Quigley-Smith, who I know.
Yeah.
Played against Northwestern at the Paul alongside her sister. So if you could speak to your relationship with her and what that was like, kind of facing them today.
Yeah, Sammy is she's great. I'm a big fan of hers and her family. I'm glad Allie and Courtney Vandersloot came tonight to the game. When we played against Sammy, I've seen her hit Steph Curry type shots. So I'm glad she was coaching instead of shooting tonight. But just a tremendous coach, and what she, for the state of Illinois, she's been, always involved, always giving back, and just great, great person. If you're Southern Illinois, you have somebody that represents you so well.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, thanks.